afternoon, welcome. Welcome back if you've joined me before, and if you haven't been here before, then welcome to my sewing room. My name is Rachel. I am SewRayMe. You can find me on Instagram at SewRayMe. You can also find me on Etsy, where I am SewRayMe UK, all one word. So here we are, video number 2. It's been a few weeks since my last one. I did mention in the last one that I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what kind of format my videos were going to take, but what I'm going to do is chat to you for a little bit, insert some video footage from throughout the month, and sort of break it up with a bit of chat, a bit of video, etc. Just like an extended Vlogmas post, because I really enjoyed doing that. I liked recording what I had been doing, and I've had lots of feedback, lots of messages from some of you saying that you really enjoyed me putting in the video at the end where I did some candles and things. So I'm going to do that. That's what feels good for me, that's what I think is going to work for me, and I hope you like it. So it's Monday the 11th of February. It is the afternoon now, so I've been working away all morning, busy sewing up some project bags, which I might show you later on. So let's get stuck in, shall we? Should we start off with some finished objects? I actually have a few things to show you, which is pretty cool. I'll start off with what I finished with. Well, I finished off my last post showing you some candles that I was making with the soy wax. So they've turned out really good. I've got one burning here. That's the biggest one. I've only burned one so far. I had to leave them for a week after I poured them just to set, and I read online somewhere to leave them for about a week before you use them. Some of them cracked a little bit, like you can see this one's coming away, and I did Google it and it said that perhaps the temperature of the room was maybe a bit cold, so they weren't sort of cooling down evenly. I did warm up my jars. I just put them in a low oven, so they were warm. Maybe the kitchen was a bit too cold, that could have been it. Or I also could have let the wax cool down a little bit more before I poured them, so that could be a few reasons why some of them have just got a few little cracks in them, but I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. They're only for me, they're only for burning. I did put some scented oils, essential oils, into one of them. I haven't burned that one yet though, but it's not smelling very strong, so I maybe didn't put enough in, but that's fine because I didn't want to go the opposite way and have it far too strong. So I'm definitely going to make these again. Got loads for my money. They don't really smell of anything, so when you're burning them there's no real major smell, which is what I wanted. I just wanted some plain ones, so very, very happy with those. I have another couple of finished objects. Last video I showed you some socks that I had on the go, and it was kind of annoying me. I just wanted them finished and done, so I just got my head down and got them finished. And the first ones I finished, I think, were these ones. Oh yeah, this was the second one. I don't know what happened, but I've got a baggy gusset. I don't know what, I must have done the heel. If I did the heel flap longer, then I would have had to pick up more stitches, so maybe that's why. But I did have notes, and I followed my notes, but I maybe miscounted or something, so it doesn't really matter. They fit fine, so I'm glad they're done. This was Stylecraft Head Over Heels, and the colour's called Olympus. All the shades in that one are named after mountains, and I think there's even some volcanoes in there like Etna and stuff. Just get rid of the cat. Right, off you go. And the pink at the top and the toe is a Cascade Heritage sock yarn. So they're done, which is good. And I have another finish, which was my Advent socks, the second Advent socks that I did. If you remember, I had enough wool for 2 pairs, so I finished the second ones. And if you remember my last video, I had an ugly green stripe in one of them. I think it was this one. There's a little bit of it. Well, I was brave and I frogged it. I took this one off the needles, ripped all the yarn out, went back 11 rows, took it out, and then I couldn't figure out how to get it back on the needles properly so that I could do 2 at a time. Well, I knitted in the 11 rows and then I wanted to add it back onto the cables, but I couldn't figure out how to do it properly. was messing with my head. So I just finished them off separately. So I just had to knit. I knitted a few more rows. I added in a nice bright pink and then the cuff, and then I just went back and finished the first one. So they're finished. I'm quite happy with those. These are the sock blockers I got. I don't know if you saw them in Vlogmas. I did show them off. The leg bit is not wide enough, so they don't really fill your socks. And I've nearly snapped these trying to put my socks on them, so they're not very good. So I could really do with another pair of decent sock blockers. So I'm going to have a look online for a good pair. I have got these other ones which are still available from the website I got them. You can get different things on them. I mean, I don't overly love the picture. So I may just get them from the same place again because I know that they're pretty good. And they've lasted me for a good few years, and I think somebody did sit on them once and I thought they were going to break, but they were fine. I have another finished object, but I'm going to show you that later on when I'm talking about something else on this video. So we'll move on to whips. I have another sock whip. As soon as I take one pair of socks off my needles, I'm straight onto casting another pair on. And I just realised I was going to show you things later on that I had bought this month, but these socks are made using a wool that I bought this month, so I will show you that just now. And this is the wool that I bought, which is all, I think it's three different shades of pink, and then there's cream, which is just lovely. This is West Yorkshire Spinners. I have been shopping to some real brick and mortar shops this month. I have a little bit of footage to insert as well, so I'll show you that. I did go fabric shopping. Didn't buy a lot in the brick and mortar shop, but I've also been fabric shopping online, so I have a bit to show you there later on. And when I went to another shop, a craft shop, I really wanted to buy some wool. I didn't really have what I wanted, but I wanted to buy something, so I ended up buying this one. And I picked up another, I didn't pick it up, I bought it. I don't like that phrase, picked up. I got another pair of cable needles as well, just so that well, you know, I've got the option if I want to cast more on, because you don't just have to have one pair on at a time, do you? That seems to be the rules. You can have as many pairs on as you want. So yes, I've cast on some socks, 2 at a time, toe up, and these are my socks so far. I've got a little sort of slip stitch pattern. Every time I finish the cream, I've just added a little bit of detail in. I was going to do a bit more detail, but there wasn't a lot of definition between the colours, so I kind of missed that one and then it was too late, so didn't bother doing any more. Bottom cream is a cream that I already have. That's another Cascade Heritage sock yarn, so I did the toes with the cream, and then the next cream is just the one that's in the wool anyway, in the West Yorkshire Spinners wool. So I'm going to have stripes. I have a little love heart stitch marker on there. I made that one, it's made from Fimo. So these are very Valentine-y. And I decided to put it on Instagram. If anybody wants to join in with a little Valentine themed cast on, feel free to use the hashtag SRM Valentine cast on. Anything you want that's pinks or reds or got love hearts in it, or you're making it for someone you love, or you're making it for yourself, just feel free to join in with the hashtag. It's just a bit of fun, no pressure. Just thought these were fun in the run up to Valentine's. I have been doing the fish lips kiss heel when I've done my toe up socks. These are sitting weird because of the sock blockers. But the fish lip kiss heel isn't a reinforced heel, that's just knit stitch. And I do like to have a reinforced heel with the slip stitches on it. And there is a way of doing that toe up. And I bought a pattern that is by Sockmatician. It's called, I'll tell you what it's called here, probably Sockmatician slip stitch toe up socks or something like that. So I'm going to try and do that. Yeah, Sockmatician's toe ups. You can buy that on Ravelry, and it's got the slip stitch heel, toe up. I've done something similar before, but it involved a lot of horrible wrap and turns, and then you have to pick up the wrapped stitch, and every time I've done it I have found it really difficult to identify what I'm supposed to pick up, so I hate that. There are wraps and turns in this, but there's no picking up the stitch, so you're literally just moving the yarn, I think it's to the front, and then you turn your work, or I can't quite remember, but I know I did these before and they didn't cause me too much stress. There's a couple of sums to do just in terms of working out your foot size, and then how many stitches to do and stuff, but it's not difficult, and luckily last time I did it I wrote down what the numbers were, so hopefully this time when it comes to the heel it will be straightforward, and it's just a case of copying what I've got written down. Whether or not I'm going to manage to do it 2 at a time, I do not know. I could end up confusing myself, and then these might end up not being 2 at a time anymore, they might end up on separate needles, I don't know. I'm not far off from having to start the gusset, which should be fine. I should be fine, I should be okay. I'm not going to worry about it until I get to it. But I am starting to notice that I'm recognising things a lot easier now than when I tried to do things when I first started. Even when I ripped back on my Advent sock, like I would never have done that before. Whenever I've undone any stitches, I've literally like unknitted each stitch rather than taking it off the needles and pulling it out, because I wasn't confident picking up all the stitches that were loose, because you inevitably miss one, and now I know how to fix a dropped stitch, whereas before I wasn't very confident in doing that. So I am sort of noticing things like that I'm obviously improving in just over time, and you begin to recognise what's right and what doesn't look right. So yeah, I feel like I'm doing not too badly. So that is my current whip. Just one on the go at the moment. That one is just a really straightforward knit, and because I'm doing it 2 at a time I don't have to count rows or anything, so it's great for at night in front of the TV, you know, when you're tired and you can't really be bothered with anything complicated, and I like to have something like that on the go. I cast these on Friday night I think, and this is Monday, so that is the weekend's progress. So it was we didn't do a lot at the weekend, so there was a lot of time to knit, so that was good. Okay, so maybe I shall show you what I've been buying this month. This could be a long section because I've bought a lot. I said in the last video that I wasn't one of these people that had loads of new things to show every week, but yeah, I've got quite a bit to show you this month. I think because it's the new year, I often get like I want to buy more fabrics and just sort of refresh my fabric stash up a bit, and plus a lot of the online shops and real shops have good sales on, so I found some great sales, and I've got some designer fabrics at a fraction of what they would normally cost. If I buy designer fabrics, I never ever pay full price for them. Some of them you can be paying like £14 a metre. I wouldn't pay that. If you have a good look out there on the internet, you will find good deals, good sales, etc. So if if you want to find a good deal, I suggest you get your computer or your iPad and set aside a couple of hours to have a really good rake around on the internet, because you will find some gems. And I've found some great little shops, and I don't really stick to just one. I kind of flit around, and now that I've found a few that I like, I know when they've got a sale on, it's brilliant, so I tend to go back to those. So I'll show you what I've bought. I've got them all mixed up, so I don't know which ones I bought at which time. I don't even know how to hold them all up to show you, but here are some that I got. This one, these are amazing. These ones have actually got gold on them, but it's sparkly fabric. So can you see the, they're sort of, I don't know if it's focusing on me. Yeah, so the gold is actually shimmery, so these are beautiful, and I love to use these for my project bags, just for the cuffs. I think that adds just a lovely amount of detail. So I got those, and where was I? Here we are. I don't really pay attention to the designers or who makes them, but I know that these two are Tilda fabrics, and they feel so lovely. They're so thick and luxurious. And this one, I think, is Dashwood Studios, which I find myself drawn to ones by certain designers, and then I don't, you know, it's not until I realise who the designers are that I realise it's all the same stuff that I've had before from the designers I've had before. I think they're Dashwood Studios. Oh no, it's Riley Blake. Riley Blake, yeah, they're beautiful. So I got that one in two different colours. This one is just a slightly peach background, and that one is white. And, well, that's a Dashwood Studio one. I just think some of them just go so nicely together. So, yep, that's one bundle. And another little stack here. I've had this one before and I loved it, so I got a couple of meters of that this time. And then, oh, I absolutely love this. It's so beautiful. It's quite autumnal, but I really love it. And just some circles and dots and things, which are always handy for lining. And then the gold. I think that's all of it. I haven't put them away yet, because I like to leave them out, and then they kind of inspire me to make lots of bags with them, because when I get new fabrics, I'm dying to see what they look like as bags. So they are like kind of flavour of the month, and I will go mad with those ones, and then eventually they'll get put away in the drawers, and then they'll get all mixed in with my other ones, and then I can come up with even more combinations. So that is very exciting. With one of the fabric deliveries, I got a little ball of my first Regia, and it's in that lovely rose pink colour that I like. It's going a little bit pinker here, but it's more sort of dusky pink, and that is just perfect. When that arrived, I realised that it went perfectly with my others. Well, it doesn't look like it on the screen, but it actually is kind of identical to the pale pink in there. But I didn't want to use that in them as well, because if that ended up being up against one of the pinks, the pale pink, you wouldn't know it was there. So I'll save that, and that will be perfect for toes, heels and cuffs on something else. What else have I got? Oh, when I went to this shop that sold the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, I was hoping to get some other ones, but the selection was not huge. They didn't have very much. And what I really was hoping to get was the Christmas yarn, because I missed out on getting it at Christmas there. That one, the fairy lights. So I went online and managed to order it online, and I thought you would be interested to see how it arrived. Vacuum packed. I've had yarn like this before, actually. This isn't the first time I had it, but when I first got it, it was quite funny because I hadn't seen it before. So it's kind of rock hard, thin as you like. So yeah, got that one. I obviously won't knit that one up until nearer Christmas, and then that can be this Christmas's Christmas sock project. And I saw another sock yarn that Cherie had used. Cherie from Ollie and Bella, she had made her daughters some rainbow socks. I think she used DK yarn actually, so they were like thick chunky socks. But I looked out for the 4-ply sock yarn and found it online and ordered that as well. So that has also come, flat as a pancake, and that's like this. I thought that you might like to see how the yarn comes out when you open it, so I'm going to open this now so you can see it. I'm sure when I got the last one I'd put it on Instagram and somebody had said, you know, what happens when you open it kind of thing. So I'm going to show you. So as soon as you open it, the air gets in and it starts to puff up within seconds, and it really, within a minute, you've kind of got a proper ball of yarn. So there we go. That's it. That's quick. It hasn't affected the wool at all. Comes out perfectly. So I just thought that was quite fun. I will enjoy working on that in the summer, I think. I mean, the colours are so bright. It's probably not what you'd associate with me, but I love a rainbow. I do like a rainbow. I'm probably not going to knit this as it is. I saw a pattern online. That's not a pattern, but I saw somebody had done a pair of socks online and I loved how it turned out, so I'm probably going to do that. I'm just going to get the photo up here to show you. And what they've done, they've used cream or white. I'm going to use this cream. This is the same one that I've used for my Valentine socks. And they just have done alternate rows. And I think that that effect is, oh, I just love that. Really, really like the effect that gives to the sock. And you could do that with any yarn. It doesn't have to be rainbow yarn. It could be a variegated yarn or speckled or whatever, and you'll just get such a nice effect with it. I've also seen, there's another sock that's quite good to do with two colours, and it's the broken seed stitch sock. I've done it before in my early days of sock knitting. I was actually going to show you it, so I'm just going to get it now. I won't bother putting it on the sock blocker, but you can just see the two colours there. So I've used green and a sort of multicoloured one, and when you see them on the sole, alternate rows, it totally just breaks up that coloured one, and I really love the effect. And then the top of the sock is broken seed stitch, which I can't actually remember what the technique was. I think it's just alternate rows of something like knit and purl. I did these early on, and the only problem that I had was that when you're knitting it alternate rows, your rows should sit like that. If you make a mistake and knit the same row twice, they sit like that, so it's like ribbed. So I have got a couple of sections in my sock which, instead of being broken, are like there, I could see is just ribbed, and yeah, that annoyed me. But I think now if I was to do it, I would recognise what the stitch below was, whereas before I wasn't recognising what it was, and I didn't realise if I was doing it wrong. So maybe I'll try that again at some point, I'm not sure. I did try it, I'm sure it was last year, I did cast on a purple yarn here, I did on it too, a purple, and then something similar for the multicoloured bit, and again a few rows in I did it wrong, so the whole thing had to get frogged, because it didn't annoy me as such, I annoyed myself at getting it wrong, so I frogged that one, and that one got forgotten about for now. So yeah, that is probably my future plans at the minute, is to knit up with the lovely rainbow yarn. I've also got the one I showed you last time, the wild rose yarn that was kind of springtimey, like purples and crocuses, and that's what it reminded me of. So I've got that one as well. So I've got a couple to think about, but like I said, I've got extra needles now, so I don't have to be limited just to one cast on. So we shall see. I just realised that there is another purchase that I forgot to show you, so I'm just going to pop in the video here. This is a little, I'll just show you on my rig. This is a little purchase I got from Down Sheepy Lane. You can find her on Instagram and Etsy, and this is going to be my advent calendar for Christmas. Debbie was selling some really teeny little balls of wool, I think they're 5 grams each, and this is a set of 20 little balls of random colours. The picture on Instagram looks as though they are my kind of colours. I don't know if they are specifically what will be in the bag, but the set was £20, so plus including postage, it's going to cost me £24 for my advent calendar. And when I looked last year, I saw yarn advent calendars at twice that plus, and I just can't justify spending that amount of money. But I thought this was a great way of doing it, and there's only 20 balls in it, but that's fine. By the time I get to the 20th of December, I'll probably have a lot of knitting to catch up on anyway. So what I'm going to do is wrap these with my eyes closed, and I'll have a nice little surprise come Christmas. But I'm not going to wrap them until near the time, because I've already got this planned. What I'm going to do is pop in a little chocolate with each one, and this year I want something good. I want roses, Cadbury's roses I think I'm going to do, or maybe heroes, maybe roses, because they're quite Christmassy. So I'm going to pop them into, I've got some little paper bags actually, so I'm going to, without looking, just put a ball of wool and a chocolate into the bags, and I'll number them, and then that'll be my advent calendar done. I did an advent calendar for Christmas past there with some yarns and really enjoyed that. So this will be a bit more of a treat because I won't know what the yarns are, so I'll be able to do scrappy socks at Christmas again, which I'm looking forward to Christmas again already, and I never look forward to Christmas this early on. This is just crazy. And another reason that I am looking forward to Christmas is that Cherie from Ollie and Bella and I have already agreed that we're going to do a little advent swap as well, so that is very exciting. We've both already started shopping for that, which is cool. So yeah, I can't wait for Christmas now, and it's only February. So yes, I'm going to have to try and not open this, but I don't know, sometimes people put in like a sweetie or something, so I'm a bit worried that if there's something in there it might be disgusting by Christmas. I can feel something in there, and it's squishy like a chew. I don't know if it is or not, it could just be a bit of cardboard. I might get somebody else to look in there and just check to see what that is in case it needs to come out, because I don't want it to go all, it might leak or, you know, go weird by November when I need to wrap it. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was actually a very good idea of mine, so I thought I would share it with you in case anyone else wanted to do the same thing. Morning guys, it is Thursday the 7th of February, and if you follow me on Instagram you'll know that on Thursdays I go volunteering with the National Trust for Scotland. I come to Falkland Palace in a nearby village, and I'm part of the gardening team. I haven't been for ages because the past few Thursdays have been really frosty and just really cold, and I just really kind of couldn't face coming out in the cold. It's a lot milder today though, and as it's mid-February I thought I'd better come in because I haven't been in since before Christmas. I don't usually take such a long break over winter, but I just felt like I just found it really difficult the thought of coming out in the cold. Bit of a wimp. So yeah, I'll try and get some footage today, show you around a bit, and we'll go and see what jobs are in store for us this morning. We've just had lunch and I've decided to stay for the afternoon. We are currently pruning apple trees in the orchard. It's a huge orchard, so it might take us quite a while. But I'm having a nice time and the weather is just beautiful. So I'll stay for a little bit longer and head home this afternoon. There's the palace in the background. Well, the sun is setting and it's nearly time to go home, but I've had a pretty good day pruning the trees. We didn't get very far because it takes ages to do a tree, but I'm glad I came and I've had a good dose of cold fresh air today, so I'm looking forward to going home to warm up. Hey, I hope you enjoyed coming to Fulham Palace with me today. I'm now home. I'm still cold, but it feels so good to be home in a nice cosy house. I think that's part of the reason I like being outdoors so much, is that you kind of appreciate getting home more. So I'm going to warm up. I've already got my hot water bottle, as always. I've had a nice cup of tea and I might have another one, and then we will settle down for the evening and warm up. So I'll catch up with you later. I was showing you the fabrics there, and there was a couple in particular. This one in particular I absolutely loved, and I made a bag for my shop last week and I did it with this as the lining. So it was that on the outer, that is the lining, and I'm sure it had the gold speckled one for the cuff of the bag. And every time I saw this bag I just got that feeling like, oh, I love that so much. The navy lining, for me, I wouldn't have that in my own bag just because I'm not keen on the darker colours, but all weekend all I could think about was I have to make myself a bag with this fabric. So when I actually sat down to doing it, I kind of narrowed it down to a few fabrics that I really liked, which, see, when I make something for myself, honestly it's so difficult trying to choose fabrics, but I knew I wanted this one. And then eventually what I decided to do was probably, rather than having like 4 fabrics in the one bag by doing a bit of patchwork or something, I would just maybe make 2 bags. So I made one and I used this one and I teamed it up with the gold, and then when it came to choosing a zip, I had one that was a sort of a dark sage green, which I really would have liked, and I like green, but it wasn't the right size, so I went with a different zip. Went with mustard, and I did film making the bag, so I'm going to pop a bit of footage in so you can see me making the bag. And here is my finished bag. I've got the handle as well with the gold, and there's a zip. I do like to have like a really punchy zip rather than playing it too safe. Sometimes I like to go for something really out there. This one's not neither too out there or neither too safe. And then the gold lining. When I made it, I was aiming for the shape and size of this one, which I really, really like. It's quite long and quite dumpy in sort of height. Very big bottom, a bit like me, small and dumpy, big bum. Yeah, I hadn't measured it properly, so this one's a little bit taller, which is fine. I need to do it shorter in future. But I'm not sure this is the bag for me. I think I should have gone with a different lining or a different zip. I've now ordered more zips in different colours that I think I would prefer. So what I think I'm going to do is put this one in my Etsy shop. It's beautiful, I love it, but it's just not, it's not me. It's not for me, this one. I think I may make myself one, definitely with this fabric, probably with a different zip and with a different lining. There's nothing wrong with this bag, so it will be going to my Etsy shop. I will hopefully get an update in my Etsy shop by the end of the week. As I said this morning, I've been making some bags. I'm going to grab them and show you so far. Let me see what I've been making. As you can see, it's a lot of them are with the new fabrics that I've got that I've just showed you. This Tilda fabric is so nice, so lovely, and then with the pinky lining, it's lovely. So they've just to get the drawstring cords in. I've got the blue. I'll just show you what I've got. I love this pink, it's so fun. And that lining, I love that, it's so beautiful. This reminds me of the cotton and steel fabrics. No, what are they called? The Rifle Paper Company. Some of their patterns, so I don't know whether it, I'm sure it was Riley Blake, I don't think it's by the same people, but it just, to me, has that feel to it. And some more. See, I like the gold just as the rim rather than the whole lining, kind of just very subtle. Another lovely one there, that green with the navy blue looks lovely. And we've got another one there. Yep, so I'm going to get them finished up and get them in my Etsy shop probably by the end of the week. Today was spent cutting out the bags and sewing the bags. Tomorrow I think I'll have a pouch day and make a few pouches. Schools, I've got half term this week, so I've only got Monday and Tuesday to sew, to work, so I'm not sure how much I'll get done, but today I just came straight in here and got on with it. I'm going to go to the supermarket, but I think we'll do that once Joshua gets home from school, which should be in a little while. I think I have talked to you and showed you everything I have been working on this month, the past few weeks. Like I said, I'm going to insert some video throughout this video, just things I've been doing here and there throughout the month, things that I think you would like to see and you'd be interested in. So I hope you enjoy seeing all that. I can't remember if I showed you these in my last video. These are some little socks. They're wooden, they're laser engraved. These are in my Etsy shop. This is the size of them. Somebody sent me a message saying she bought one, and then she sent me a message saying, oh, I thought they were stitch markers, but no, they're quite big. So you could attach that to your project bag. You could use it for your keys. You could you can attach it to the edge of your project bags that have got the clips on. You could put your stitch markers onto there. So they're in my Etsy shop. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Hope you liked the video. If you liked it, give me a little thumbs up underneath. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, then maybe you would like to do that as well. And feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you enjoyed about the video, if you enjoyed the video, and let me know if there's any other things you would like to see. If you have any questions, I might do a sort of question and answer video at some point. So if you have any questions, let me know. I've kind of felt like I've rushed through the video. I didn't really plan it brilliantly. My notes are very, very scribbled. So I hope I'm I don't think I've forgotten anything because I didn't exactly have a million projects to show you, but I have showed you what I've done this month in the past few weeks, and hopefully you'll join me again, and I'll catch you again in a few weeks time where I should have a bit more progress to show you. Remember, if you want to join in with my sort of Valentine's cast on, then feel free to use the tag on Instagram, SRM Valentine cast on, because I would love to see what you've been knitting, and especially in a little Valentine's theme, because I love everything pink and I love hearts. So feel free to show me anything you would like to join in with. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to go now, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye. Do you remember this chocolate pudding that we had at Vlogmas? I just melted some chocolate, and then we're having it tonight with some fruit and a few marshmallows. This was amazing at Christmas because I used some panettone cake as well. It was so good. We're just having a little treat tonight.